Hello, everybody. We have so much to go over today. And wow, rest is resistance. That was the book recommendation from today. And talking about the growth, how you're managing your time. Again, my name is Mikeworth. I am your hostess for the week of the 12-week year. The 12-week year is a book. It is a book that isn't the best book in the whole wide world, but it is a super helpful way for us to guide an accountability group. And the accountability group is 12 weeks long. It's 84 days. That's all the time you and I have together is 84 days. So what ends up happening in those 84 days is that we end up with a group of people who are different every 84 days. And that group will bring in a piece of learning that'll be mind blowing. That's why you want to do them on a regular basis. Now, we do take the summer off, but this group goes until July. We take the summer off. So we really work 3 out of the 4 years of 4 of the seasons, right? And what I love about each group is that all of you together make a new body of knowledge. And the moment that you're in as you're going through a process and picking out a goal is really unique to that moment. So even if you took a session before, you're working on a different group, you're working on a different project, many of you, and your learning is different because you're different and the time is different and the people helping you is different. So I want to really remind you that you have to come back every time with a fresh mind. And a fresh mind is also around what is achievement, what is not, and how are you kind of keeping track of that. So Rest is Resistance is the book that was given today. And the conversation that that progress isn't linear, that yes, we're learning to schedule because you're learning a pattern. You're learning to say, every day I'm going to give to myself first. In my life, I'm going to make a plan of what's important to me. And then from the prosperity mindset, it's learning to keep that promise to the self. And learning to keep that promise to the self is identifying what is the promises that you're making. And as you move forward, what will happen is you'll recognize the shoulds and you'll recognize that sometimes we pick a goal because we actually haven't really thought about it, but that sounds like a good one to get. So working out in a certain way was an example today, is that I have to do this machine 4 times a week or I'm not hitting my goal. And the answer is that that person hates that machine. They don't want to do that. So they really fight and they get there half the time. And so the reality is that when we unpacked, why am I not achieving? Why is this not getting to where I want to go? Why am I feeling resistance? It's actually not the fail of the individual. It's often the fail of the strategy, the fail of the tactics, the fail of the other bigger goal. And so the bigger goal was that they wanted to be healthier. Okay. And what does healthier look like to you? And so we got to unwrap what is the expectation and how do we get there? And one was they just randomly picked something that they were going to try to do. Well, okay, but does that actually meet the deeper need? So when you're facing your own resistance, which every single person has resistance. There is not one person in all of the cohorts that we've done that just went, yep, snap, snap, super easy. No, not one person, not me. And I host this group. I have to do the same things. I will tell you, right? These messages, weekly reflections, all of these pieces of paper, we sent them for a reason because you actually need the accountability with yourself so that when you come to group, you know what you're doing. But learning how to do it is your own game. And so looking at the ways that you're doing your goals. So this person had this goal that suddenly felt like they just weren't getting it done and they're having a lot of resistance. Well, what's the bigger goal? What does it tie into? And one of the suggestions that another scholar gave was, oh, if you link that to a guilty pleasure, you're going to have a much better time. And that was powerful information to go, is there a podcast that you love to listen to? Only listen to it when you're doing that health goal of maybe exercising to something that you need. Or can you put a movie on while you're doing the the machine exercise? There are so many ways to outsmart something, but what you're really looking for is you're looking for the things that allow you to opt in, and that you opt in because it's delicious, because it's wonderful, because you want more of that dopamine hit. So when you're going through your goals this week, this month, is to really pay attention to what the resistance is. And then to say, is this attaching to my big why? Did I even make the right goal? Um, is this the right goal for me? And is this the right strategy for me? The reason that you're measuring strategy is that if the strategy only gets you 50% of the way there, it needs to be altered. Give it another tool. And that is loving it on its process. It's giving it the right size shoes for the right size of growth. So think about that, is that you may have outgrown the shoes on that, and now you're a different thing. You need something that has more ability. If you even think about that from a baby, right? We used to give them soft shoes, and then suddenly they needed hard shoes. You need to evolve the way that you're doing what you're doing so that you can do it in a way that is supportive to you, that makes it easy for you to opt in, that you can't wait to do that goal. So eating delicious food, we heard it in many different ways from many different people. And resistance is natural. And for those of you who are doing writing projects, that it is to say, right, that you did a lot of writing this week, you might not do it the next week. Success and progress is not always linear. And for those of you who are doing writing projects, the biggest writing piece that we are there to say is that packing it up for a week, packing it back, and then coming back into it is part of the process. So learning your own process, be gentle and generous with yourself as you're going through this, even if you've gone through it many times, because it's never the same. The group is never the same. The learning is never the same, but it's all set up for you to be successful. And so I thank you for being here. The book recommendation today is Rest is Resistance. And that came from Stacy. So you can take all that love for her. And remembering that resting is part of the process. And there's a lot to learn from each other. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning up, turning up your volume. And thank you for your honesty. Thank you for your honesty of just saying, I'm feeling resistance around this. And what ends up happening in that group is you go, oh, we are all experiencing resistance on our own game show of stuff. We're all having resistance on our own game show. Let's just solve it. Let's just move you forward, because you deserve to be able to do the things that you want to do. And I truly believe that. And besides that, you're a powerhouse. You know how to do great things, and I get to watch. Have a great week.